Thanks, Odell. I don't know about the rest of you, but as I sat here and listened to all these amazing awardees and presenters who have spent years of their life in building our profession, it makes me very proud and happy. And I also would look at each of them, presenters and awardees, and would know that each of them would say all their work is for naught if we in organizations don't take hold and make something successful in our own organizations. That's why I'm very happy to present the next award to an organization who hasn't spent years at this, but in 2 years had listened to the wisdom, I'm sure, of many of the people up on the stage and others, and said they were going to do something in their organization. Now, I don't know about you, but for years, and I know many others, have wondered why that many of our federal agencies who scrutinize our companies for ethics and compliance failures don't have their own ethics and compliance programs. And this is why it gives me the greatest of pleasure tonight to present an award to the FBI, the first federal government agency in the United States to create and implement a robust ethics and compliance program. Earlier this spring, FBI Assistant Director Patrick Kelly contacted Roy and asked if he and his team from the FBI's Office of Integrity and Compliance, who had been created just a few years ago, could meet with some of the SCCE leaders and to benchmark their program. Several of us ended up meeting with Patrick and his team for about half a day. We were very impressed with their accomplishments over the past several years in creating and implementing a program, not just a checklist program, but we were very impressed with their thoughtful study and research of what effective programs consist of. And they clearly had dedication and commitment of FBI leadership in making it happen. As an aside, we at the SCCE were delighted that the #1 investigative body in our country decided and had sniffed out that the SEC was the organization to contact. Now, so because of this, as a pioneer for other government agencies who we hope will soon follow, and I think we understand the SEC is quickly coming up with a program, not only for that, but for their dedication of effort and resources to make the FBI's ethics and compliance program not just one on paper, but a living, breathing program. It is my great pleasure to present this award to Patrick Kelly and his team at the FBI's Office of Integrity and Compliance.
Thank you for those kind words, Marjorie. That was very, very, very nice. Well, on behalf of Director Mueller and the entire Federal Bureau of Investigation, let me say thank you very much for this great award. When we were notified that we were getting this award, we were actually amazed. We were greatly appreciative, of course, but we were amazed because, one, we didn't even know there was an award for society. And second, as Marjorie said, we've really only been in existence for a couple of years. We are very relative newcomers, and we did, when the director said roughly 2 years ago, I want a compliance program, we had a vague idea what that meant. Of course, we can read the sentencing guidelines like you as well. But we really didn't know what was required in order to have a successful program. So we did look at the federal government, and there are some types of programs, particularly in the finance world, but nothing like the things that you do every single day. So after looking around in the federal government and finding that we couldn't find anything, we reached out to the private sector. The first thing we did was hire one of you, and I can't see because is that you, Emil, back there? Well, we owe a lot to this man, Emil Michel, a member of the society and a compliance professional. And Emil, this is to be shared with you. So thank you very much. Well, once we had Emil aboard and he pointed us in the right direction, we began to reach out, as Marjorie said, to the private sector. We were really surprised and amazed that so many talented folks gave willingly of their time, their counsel, and their talent to us free. We know when your administrative assistant answers the phone and says, you know, the FBI is on the line, boss, and they want to talk about your compliance program. That's probably not what you want to hear. But working with the society and all the good people up here, there's too many to mention. There's Adam out there, and Roy, Marjorie, Jeff, and tell me, I just blanked out on your name. But this gentleman, Joe, they did, as Marjorie said, spend more than half a day with us, totally free of charge. We understand that they could have billed us, and we probably had to go back to Congress and ask for more money. But with their assistance and with their guidance, we found that we were on the right track, and that we, like most of the federal government, want you to comply, but it's time for us to point fingers at ourselves. We reached out to a lot of corporations, too. I should name a few. Daylight Forensics is over here. They certainly hosted us. General Electric, AOL. All spent time, and as I said, their valuable counsel and knowledge to help us out. There's others, and I can't remember everyone. On a personal note, I want to thank my wife, who's with me, pointing a camera right at me now. She has supported me, and it was a bit of a leap. I've been a lawyer in the federal government for 35 years, but the director said, move over to compliance. Actually, I thought I had a choice, and I talked to my beloved and said, should we do this? And it was a 3-day weekend, and we had a glass of wine and decided, yes, this would be something that it's time now or never. And, of course, I told my boss, the general counsel, and she says, well, it's a good thing the director's already announced it. So. But collectively, you have taught us very much. But perhaps your greatest lesson is that while the FBI truly is an institution that is dedicated to serving and protecting the American public, I think you've taught us collectively that a good compliance program will help protect the FBI. So we will endeavor to show you that your efforts on our behalf have not been wasted, and we again thank you for all that you've done for us.